Hello everyone! Imagine you're living an ordinary teenage life, and suddenly your grandmother shows up in town and turns out to be the ruling queen of another country. That's exactly what happens to Mia one day. Can she come to terms with her destiny and handle the immense weight of responsibility placed upon her? With sirens wailing, a diplomatic motorcade makes its way through the streets of San Francisco, passing by the home of Mia Thermopolis, a typical 15-year-old high school student.
Stop daydreaming! Late for school!
Mia lives on the 3rd floor of a refurbished firehouse with her mother. She slides down to the kitchen on an actual fire pole, wrapping her legs around it each time she wants to come down. Once the girl descends, her mother provides her with instructions before her presentation at school. Her mother, who works as an artist, loves her daughter very much. Mia leaves the house, hops onto her scooter, and hurries to school at top speed. On her way, she accidentally crashes into her eccentric neighbor's trash can, but she carries on to the energetic beat of the soundtrack. Halfway through the ride, the girl meets up with her friend Lily, crosses the road right in front of the motorcade from the beginning, and makes her way to the school. Just outside the entrance of a private school, a group of cheerleaders practice their routine, with handsome Josh Bryant showing off near them. Mia goes unnoticed by everyone. Even the vice principal doesn't remember her name. Mia meets Lily near the lockers and complains to her friend that someone accidentally sat on her again and didn't even notice it. While the friends are chatting, Josh shows up nearby, flirting with his girlfriend. Mia daydreams and pictures herself being in her place. Finally, comes the moment the girl has been dreading all morning. It's time for her to partake in a debate. Mia's opponent, as luck would have it, is Josh. He's campaigning against mandatory school uniforms and successfully charms the audience. Mia tries to present a rebuttal and talks about how the uniform makes everyone equal. However, instead she experiences overwhelming agitation, unable to utter a single word, and retreats to the bathroom while her classmates laugh at her. After the humiliation in class, the school day ends, and Mia rushes to her part-time job at the rock climbing gym, where her mother joins her. Mia's mom comforts her and informs her that Mia's last living grandmother has shown up in town and is now eager to meet Mia for a cup of tea. All these years, the relative wasn't actively seeking a reunion and resided in Europe.
She's your father's mother. Look, just go see her tomorrow, please.
Mia is not particularly excited about seeing her grandmother. Nevertheless, she agrees to meet with her. In music class, Mia is once again blending into the background. She half-heartedly beats a drum while her peers dance and have fun. The teacher interrupts this commotion, organizing the students in front of her and seating a boy at the piano to practice a song. During the rehearsal, the boy gives Mia meaningful looks. Inside the house, the girl is greeted by her grandmother's servant, who refers to her as Miss Thermopolis and politely asks her to wait.
Please, make yourself comfortable.
Displaying a lack of royal etiquette, the girl carelessly tosses her backpack onto the floor before taking a seat on the couch. The butler gracefully leaps over her belongings and leaves. Soon after, her grandmother's ever-professional attaché takes his place, informing Mia that she has arrived at the Genovian consulate. The attaché proudly mentions the country's pears, a source of national pride. The protagonist's estranged relative follows the attaché down the stairs. The grandmother tells Mia that she's very young, and Mia compliments her back by calling her clean. The attaché and the grandmother are amused by this awkward attempt at politeness. The grandmother sits next to Mia and gives her a family heirloom, an ancient box with a medallion with Genovia's emblem. Being naturally clumsy, Mia nearly drops the gift as soon as it lands in her hands, and then clumsily attempts to put it in her backpack. After that, Mia puts the medallion around her neck, and the grandmother tells her she's about to hear some important news which will change her life forever. It's even more important than getting braces. The attaché calls everyone to gather in the garden for tea. However, Mia's lack of grace becomes apparent as she clumsily bangs the spoon and stirs the sugar so loud that the sounds echo throughout Genovia itself. The servants and grandmother are left bewildered by her manners. The grandmother tells Mia that her late father, long estranged from the family, was the crown prince of their small country. Mia cannot believe her ears and tells her grandmother to shut up. At first, the latter doesn't understand what her granddaughter means. But then one of the servants explains to her that she is simply shocked by this news. That's understandable. The grandmother she has just met is none other than Queen Clarice Rinaldi, and in a surprising turn of events, the girl discovers she has inherited a bunch of royal titles. Clarice explains to the girl that she has inherited the throne by blood, and now she is bound to rule their country. Mia doesn't see herself as a gracious ruler of the kingdom and tries to refuse, but her grandmother replies that Mia is the only heiress to the throne and has to move to Genovia. But before that, she also has to master all the subtleties of the royal life, the rules of etiquette, dress, and communication. Mia is not at all happy about this. She refuses and childishly runs away from her stunned grandmother. Upon returning home, Mia confronts her mother, expressing her outrage at being clueless about her father's royal lineage. The mother tells Mia that she met her father at the university when she was very young, and the couple got married soon after. At some point, the woman decided to get a secret divorce and live alone with her daughter, because she did not like the life of a prince's wife. Her mother dreamed of a career as an artist. Still feeling hurt, Mia retreats to her room, which she has now bestowed with a new name.
Where are you going?
I'm going to straighten up the royal bedchamber.
Mia's mother follows her and explains to her that her father and grandmother have agreed to stay away from her not to ruin her normal childhood with royal business. The plan was to reveal the truth about Mia's origins on her 18th birthday, but sadly, her father's early demise completely derailed those plans. The next morning, a limousine pulls up to the Thermopolis house. Mia's mother and grandmother meet in the kitchen. Clarice acts somewhat squeamish and is reluctant to recall her son's life with the woman. She notes that if Mia doesn't assume the throne as she is supposed to, Genovia will have to change its state system, so the matter is quite serious. The fate of an entire country depends on the girl, who is currently playing peekaboo with her cat, Fat Louie, on the top floor. Mia's mother shares photographs of Philip with her former mother-in-law, sparking a nostalgic conversation filled with smiles as they reminisce about the past. They both feel sorry over the premature loss of someone dear to them both due to the tragic event. The grandmother softens up to Mia's mother, who acknowledges that, despite their decision to part ways, she still deeply loved her husband. Clarice is grateful to her former daughter-in-law. Mia slides down the pole and is surprised to see her grandmother in the kitchen. She says it's a nightmare and tries to leave, but the women convince her to stay and listen to them. Before the upcoming royal ball, the teenager needs to learn the basics of the monarch's life and decide if she is willing to one day assume the throne. The girl tries to evade the issue, but then agrees to give it a shot anyway. Mia goes outside with her grandmother and tells her that she dreams of rebuilding an old Mustang. Clarice replies that she is used to raising Mustangs on the prairie, but is willing to donate money to fix her granddaughter's car. After meeting the strange neighbor, the two get into the limousine parked nearby. The grandmother introduces the girl to her driver, Joseph. He drives his new ward to school while Mia entertains herself by touching all the buttons and parts in the interior. The driver asks to simply call him Joe. On her way to school, the young princess meets Lily. The girls are dropped off near the building, where the cheerleading squad is rehearsing again. To her dismay, the young princess is subjected to teasing from her peers, who recall how she lost the debate and ran away. Mia, her classmates, and her friend Michael play baseball on a field under the coach's supervision. Mia accidentally throws the ball at the coach and gets another round of taunts. Following their school day, Lily and Mia dash towards the car service, where their friend's band is practicing, and where Michael, one of Mia's friends and a band member, is working on fixing her Mustang. There are Skittles scattered all over the keyboard keys. Michael casually strolls over to Mia. Together with the service owner, they tell Mia it would cost her $400 to fix the old car. Michael kindly agrees to provide some of the services free of charge, prompting Mia to thank them before leaving to talk with her grandmother. The car service owner playfully teases Michael about his affection for Mia. At the meeting, the queen examines Mia from all angles and decides she needs a transformation. The grandmother is not happy with her daughter's appearance, her socks and shoes, her posture, her manners. Clarice begins to teach the girl the ways of the upper class. The next scene catches Mia in gym class. She is standing on the goal and can't catch any of the incoming balls. The coach sends Josh to her to teach her how to handle the ball. The moment Mia catches sight of him, she is instantly carried into a realm of romantic daydreams. With some effort, Mia gets dressed in all new clothes and arrives at the consulate to have dinner with Grandma. To improve her posture, she is tied to a chair with a scarf in the right position. Struggling with the scarf, Mia learns some etiquette, and then Grandma teaches Mia how to dance.
Balance.
I see.
Joe asks Mia how well she can dance. The girl begins to show off her skills, but they don't quite fit the royal persona. The driver teaches the girl, and the scene ends with the princess leaving and Joe and Clarice dancing together. The next day, stepping on the lawn and hearing warnings in 3 languages, Mia runs to the door of the consulate. Mia is late for an important meeting as she got carried away talking to Lily. Paulo enters the room, revealing himself to be a celebrated stylist, accompanied by 2 assistants. Their goal is to give Mia a stunning and refined makeover. Before the transformation begins, the man and his assistants must sign a non-disclosure agreement, but the stylist assures Mia's grandmother that he always keeps secrets. The grandmother leaves, and the transformation of her granddaughter begins. Paulo compares Mia's eyebrows to those of Frida Kahlo and gets to work. He breaks a brush on the girl's hair, radically decides to replace her glasses with lenses, and straightens the princess's curls. After the makeover, Mia exudes a vibrant aura and becomes the center of attention. The grandmother is pleased, and Mia is astounded to see her own reflection in the mirror, hardly recognizing herself. The next morning, as per tradition, Mia fetches her friends Michael and Lily in a limousine before school. Lily is obviously jealous of her friend, so she can't say anything nice to her and starts complaining about everything that's going on. Following the snide remark about the young princess's pricey backpack, Lily continues her barrage of friendly support by reminding Mia that she used to value her brains over her looks. Amidst this ceaseless flow of criticism, the girl rides with them to school, silently shedding a tear. Afterwards, Joe encourages Mia not to let anyone bring her down. Mia hides her new hairstyle under a hat and asks Lily to finally stop being so critical. Michael supports her, but quickly leaves. The friends get into an argument. Lily accuses the princess of hiding something from her and blackmails her by threatening to end their friendship. Mia's grandmother asks the girl not to reveal the details of her status before the ball, so that the press doesn't learn the story before the official announcement. Breaking her word, Mia spills everything to Lily, but asks her not to tell anyone else. She agrees, and the girls go to class. In the evening, Clarice and the attaché walk in the garden, and Clarice points out that there are not enough fountains there. At this point, Mia catches up with them with a book. Clarice gives her some more classic novels to read, and continues with the young royalty boot camp. This time, she teaches her granddaughter how to wave properly from the car.
And so you wave to them and acknowledge them gracefully.
Hello.
No, not quite so big, because of course it's very, very exhausting after a while.
On the way to school the next day, Michael invites Mia to his band rehearsal this coming Saturday. He tells her that new parts have arrived for the young princess's car. The boy offers to install them and suggests spending some time together, but he awkwardly clarifies that it's not a date. Just then, Lily catches up with the couple. As they reach the school entrance, they are unexpectedly swarmed by reporters. Someone has leaked information about the young princess's identity to the press, and Mia suspects Lily. In the vice principal's office, the girl is shown the headlines featuring her name and true identity, prompting the head teacher to summon her grandmother to the school. Amidst a flurry of camera flashes, Clarice steps into the vice principal's office, with Paulo following closely behind. It's revealed that it was Paulo, driven by his vanity, who disclosed Mia's secret, as admitted by the stylist himself. Clarice and Mia are left alone with her mother. Mia promises to give the proposal to become a princess another thought, with a news report in the background about the newly discovered successor to the Genovia title, who resides in a converted firehouse with her artist mother. Joe tosses a ball into the hoop. Outside, rain is drizzling, leaving the school playground damp and dripping. Mia sits nearby, looking into the distance with a sense of melancholy. Suddenly, Lily rushes over and begins recounting how popular Mia has become and how challenging it truly is to assume the role of a monarch. Mia asks Lily to pause and agrees to participate in her school TV program on ecology and give an interview. Mia calls Joe up and says she doesn't want to become a princess, but truly only wants to finish school and live like everyone else. The driver remarks that no one can escape themselves. He says that Clarice is going to invite her to a formal reception to practice her freshly acquired etiquette skills. At the dinner, Mia meets the Prime Minister's family and other guests. Everyone examines the girl with genuine interest. At the reception, she learns that the royal family has rivals from the inner circle who can't wait to seize the power. Over the meal, everyone discusses the famous Genovian pears. Clarice tries to get a response from her Asian colleague, and the guests engage in small talk. However, things don't go very smoothly for the young princess. She first accidentally sets fire to her tablemate's sleeve, and then eats cold ice cream too quickly and can't contain her reaction. The Prime Minister, his wife, and the Queen herself try to defuse the situation, but the dinner is still not going too well. During the Prime Minister's toast, Mia accidentally breaks a glass in an attempt to get the guests' attention. The Prime Minister lifts a glass in honor of Baron von Trocken, who lays claim to the throne. In a discreet and gracious manner, the Prime Minister conveys his wish for the politician to remain in his current role and not seek higher positions. The famous Genovian fruit dessert is brought in. Mia tries to handle it, but drops half the plate's contents on the floor. As she gets under the table, the waiter stumbles over her and spills water. Then the plate of food flies into the wall. The Queen becomes upset while observing what's happening. However, her Asian colleague finally breaks into a smile for the first time that evening when he discovers a bunch of grapes flying onto his plate. His infectious laughter fills the room, and the entire table joins in. Mia shyly crawls under the tablecloth. Later, while lying in bed at night, she apologizes to her deceased father for the ruined evening. The next day, she and her grandmother discuss what happened while watering the flowers. Clarice reassures Mia by telling her that she accidentally dropped the armor on her first appointment and the spear got stuck in the pig on the table. Clarice decides to cancel all the girls' lessons and just have fun with her. The ladies jump in Mia's Mustang and drive towards San Francisco.
Oh, got it! Give me 5. Oh.
After a full day of fun, Clarice and her granddaughter decide to have a heart-to-heart talk. Mia asks if her father wanted to be a prince. Clarice replies that he did want to, but he almost gave up the title 15 years ago to stay with Mia's mother. He truly loved his family, but he made the difficult decision not to abandon his country for a personal relationship and chose to be a monarch. It was the hardest decision of his life. On their way back to the consulate, Mia and her grandmother encounter several uphill stretches. The soon-to-be princess isn't an experienced driver, which makes their ride challenging. Eventually, she loses control and pulls back down the slope, colliding with a streetcar. Initially, the policeman and the streetcar driver intend to reprimand the violators. However, to the surprise of the onlookers, Clarice knights them using a car part and points out that the streetcar remains undamaged. They are then transported to the consulate in the police car, contrary to the original plan of taking Mia to the police station. Through the patrol car window, the grandmother gracefully demonstrates her ability to wave at people. The following morning, Mia arrives at school, where she's already treated like a superstar. People eagerly ask her for an autograph, take pictures with her, claim to be her friends, and try to win her favor in every way possible. Meanwhile, reporters gather outside the school, closely monitoring the unfolding events. During the break, Josh finally turns his attention to the girl and flirts with her. He tells her that he broke up with his girlfriend and would now like to invite Mia to a beach party on Saturday. She eagerly agrees and tells her friend Michael all about it. Because of the party, she can't stop by the car service to listen to his band and spend time with him. Mia gets ready for the party and is really looking forward to the first kiss she expects to get from Josh Bryant. Her mother makes a reasonable point that the guy hasn't paid attention to her daughter before, but Mia's daydreaming again.
You know, in old films, whenever a girl gets seriously kissed, her foot would just kind of pop.
Everyone is having a great time at the beach, and Josh, like a real yachtsman, tells Mia about the big boats. However, with all this excitement, the young princess forgets about Lily's show, which she wanted to attend in support of sea otters. At the end of the evening, the paparazzi arrive at the beach, and Mia and Josh hastily hide from them in an inconspicuous tackle house. Despite his best efforts, the guy struggles to turn the situation into a romantic one. The setting is just too unsuitable. After the paparazzi helicopter departs, he takes Mia outside. On the porch, a large swarm of journalists awaits the couple, and Josh ostentatiously presents himself as the princess's boyfriend, intentionally kissing her on the lips in front of dozens of cameras. In response, he gets slapped with a flip-flop. Mia feels embarrassed and hastily leaves. She tries to find the locker room at the beach and meets her classmates. They used to constantly bully Mia, but now they seem friendly. They give the girl clothes and promise to stand guard at the changing tent. Instead, they wait for the journalist to show up and tear down the light walls. The girl ends up in front of the crowd in a state of undress.
Over here!
In the evening, Mia finds solace in her mother's embrace, shedding tears and worrying about everything that transpired. The following morning, her grandmother reads the headlines and scolds her granddaughter, suggesting that perhaps Mia made the right decision in relinquishing the throne. However, she extends an invitation for Mia to attend the ball and bring her friends. It is at the ball where Mia's formal abdication will be announced. Joe tries to convince the queen that Mia is not to blame for what happened, emphasizing that the boy simply took advantage of her and her fake friends acted out of envy. He highlights the fact that the princess, despite being only 15, had the courage to face Clarice and accept all the criticism. By the end of their conversation, the queen and her driver agree that Mia is capable of handling the responsibility bestowed upon her. The princess is mocked at school because of what happened at the party, and Lily accuses her of forgetting to come to the show. She says that the princess has hurt Michael, who happens to be her brother, and that she has neglected their friendship and hasn't been very nice lately. Mia and Lily argue for a long time, but in the end they make up. Mia invites Lily to the ball. In gym class, they play softball, at which the princess didn't exactly excel in the past, to say the least. However, this time she emerges triumphant and sends a ball flying straight into Josh's stomach.
Safe! And you pass.
That evening, Michael stops by Mia's house. She thanks him for the Mustang, apologizes for ditching him on Saturday, and invites him to attend the Genovia Independence Day ball with her. The guy declines, seemingly never getting over his resentment. In the afternoon at school, Mia wears a hat once again, sitting next to her friend Jeremy, as they become the target of mockery from the cheerleading team. This same team had previously embarrassed the princess in front of journalists. While the guy remains unfazed by the taunting, Mia decides to teach the main instigator a lesson by smearing ice cream all over the top of her pristine white uniform. Finally, Mia says that one can get smarter, but it's not possible to stop being a jerk. Lily and everyone around her, including the vice principal, laugh and tell Lana to wash her uniform. On the day of the ball, Grandma gives her granddaughter a diary left by her father. Mia's birthday is a week away, but her grandmother wants to give the diary to her in person before she leaves for her homeland. She says the medallion she gave her earlier is the key to the lock on the diary, and she plans to leave the day after tomorrow. Clarice apologizes for her harsh words after the beach party and says that Mia will make a great princess. The granddaughter replies that she is afraid of letting her people and the queen down. Outside, Mia's neighbor tells Joe about his writing. It turns out that he writes soap operas and compares the driver to the spy in his work. Joe replies that he is not a spy. The writer doesn't believe him and suspiciously examines Joe. Mia does yoga while her grandmother tells her that there will be a press talk at the ball about giving up the title, and her granddaughter needs to make a speech. Mia is clearly stressed about that. She refuses a ride from Joe and apologizes one last time to her grandmother. Clarice leaves, and the granddaughter is left to prepare for the ball. Mia has no intention of going to the reception. She wants to run away and pack her things. As Mia opens the diary, a letter from her father slips out unnoticed, and Fat Louie the cat quickly lays on it. Surprisingly, the diary contains no written entries. It turns out that her father intended for Mia to record the impact of her newfound title on her life. Reluctant to deliver a speech at the ball, Mia decides to run away. At the appointed hour, everyone is waiting for Mia. Even her mother has already arrived, but the girl is still missing. Meanwhile, Mia puts the cat in a carrier and finds the letter from her father. Its text urges Mia not to be afraid and once again confirms that her father loved her mother dearly. Mia accepts her fate and leaves for the ball. At the very last moment, she puts on jeans and a sweatshirt, hops into an open-top Mustang in the pouring rain, somehow starts it up, and hurries to the consulate. Michael gets a pizza with a word of apology made with Skittles. He realizes he has to be at the ball. On another hill, the Mustang refuses to go any further, but Joe comes to the rescue. He got a tip from Mia's rider neighbor, the one whose trash can Mia collided with once again. The driver has been searching all over town for the princess on behalf of the queen. At the last moment, with the Baron already thinking he's got the throne in his pocket, Mia shows up at the ball and claims the title to the applause of the audience. She gives a speech about overcoming her fear and being willing to do anything for the betterment of Genovia. Later, the queen says that Mia is a lot like her, so she had no doubt that the girl would eventually take the title. She hands Mia the crown. The Prime Minister sings the Genovian anthem, and Paolo, who unexpectedly shows up at the reception, prepares to tidy up the young princess's looks after her trip in the downpour. The movie ends with a grand ball, where Mia dances with Michael, and in the end, kisses him, which makes her foot go pop, activating the illumination of the fountain in the background. Clarice starts a romantic relationship with Joe, tenderly holding his hand. Epilogue. Mia sits in her private plane and takes notes in her new diary next to Fat Louie the cat, who's wearing a little crown. The plane is approaching Genovia. This movie is the debut of actress Anne Hathaway. She, by the way, got the role after she accidentally fell off her chair during the audition right in front of director Gary Marshall. Her clumsiness charmed the creator of Pretty Woman and Runaway Bride, and he immediately realized that this is the right person to play the cute, klutzy Mia. As always, check out the name of the movie in the video description. In the meantime, tell us in the comments, do you think you'd be able to run the state? Don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel to see even more cool recaps.